बोल श्री आदि शक्ति जगदम्बिका माता की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सब संतन की जय। सब भक्तन की जय। जय जय सीताराम। जय जय राधे श्याम। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव शंभो। श्रद्धानिष्ठ भक्ताः सर्वेषां कृते सुस्वागतं व्याहरामि कस्मिन् महोत्सवे विराजमानाः। श्रद्धा निष्ठा भक्त उन सभी का मैं सुस्वागत करता हूँ। It is my privilege once again to extend a special and courteous welcome to everyone as we celebrate our annual Navratri 2019. Tonight marks the second night of our devotion. We are especially proud to be hosting this celebration at this wonderful venue, the Constantine Park, Mokoya, Tunapuna. Each night, our festival receives coverage with Sankhya television, so please tune in and enjoy. We are pleased to welcome once again our special guests and all who have been with us throughout the years and those who are new to our celebration. We wish to express sincere appreciation to all who have generously assisted in accomplishing this remarkable achievement. We are accompanied for lifting the ambience and creating the energies to resonate with Katha and Kirtan. We are blessed to have with us Shri Narendra Maharaj, Shri Krishnadat Bisoon, Shri Jeevan Sugrim, Shri Ramesh Singh, Shri Sunil, and Shri Sanjay. We ask the blessings of each and every one as we prepare ourselves for devotion, for Kirtan, for Katha, as we celebrate the feminine divine Adi Shakti Bhagavati Mata Ma Durga. Let us compose our mind and fill our hearts with the ecstasy of love and devotion to her divine feet. Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sri Guru Charana Kamalabhyo Namaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं येन कृत्स्नं चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिद्रूपेण परिव्याप्तं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरुर्पदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्रा स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुं सस्तनूभिर्व्यशे महिदेवहितं जदायुः। ॐ स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो बृहस्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तयक्षो आरिष्टनेमि स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णु रुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः शान्तिः। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। जय जय मैया लक्ष्मी जय गजवदन गणेश जय जय माता शारदे जय जय भारत देश। श्री गणपतिर्जयति। ॐ अस्य श्री नवारण मंत्रस्य ब्रह्म विष्णु रुद्राऋषयः गायत्रुष्णिक अनुष्टुप छंदांसि श्री महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वत्यो देवता। ऐं बीजं ह्रीं शक्तिः क्लीं कीलकं श्री महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती प्रीत्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः। ब्रह्म विष्णु रुद्रे ऋषिभ्यो नमः। शिरसे गायत्रुष्णिक अनुश्चुप छंदोभ्यो नमः। मुखे महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती देवताभ्यो नमः। हृदय ऐं बीजाय नमः। गुह्ये ह्रीं कील ह्रीं शक्तये नमः। पादयोः क्लीं कीलाय नमः। नाभौ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै विच्चे। ॐ ऐं अंगुष्ठाभ्यां नमः। ॐ ह्रीं तर्जनीभ्यां नमः। ॐ क्लीं मध्यमाभ्यां नमः। ॐ चामुण्डायै अनामिकाभ्यां नमः। ॐ बिच्चे कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै विच्चे करतल करपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः। ॐ ऐं हृदयाय नमः। ॐ ह्रीं शिरसे स्वाहा। ॐ क्लीं शिखायै वषट। ॐ चामुण्डायै कवचाय हुम्। ॐ बिच्चे नेत्रत्रयायै वौषट। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विचे अस्त्राय फट। ॐ ऐं नमः शिखायाम्। ॐ ह्रीं नमः दक्षिणनेत्रे। ॐ ह्रीं नमः क्लीं नमः वामनेत्रे। ॐ चां नमः दक्षिणकर्णे। ॐ मुं नमः वामकर्णे। ॐ दां नमः दक्षिणनासापुटे। ॐ यैं नमः वामनासापुटे। ॐ विं नमः मुखे। ॐ चें नमः गुह्ये। ॐ ऐं प्राच्यै नमः। ॐ ऐं आग्नेयै नमः। ॐ ह्रीं दक्षिणायै नमः। ॐ ह्रीं नैऋत्यै नमः। ॐ क्लीं प्रतीच्यै नमः। ॐ क्लीं वायव्यै नमः। ॐ चामुण्डायै उदीच्यै नमः। ॐ चामुण्डायै ऐशान्यै नमः। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै बिच्चे ऊर्ध्वायै नमः। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै बिच्चे भौम्यै नमः। Turn towards Bhagavati and absorb her energy through dhyanam. Meditate upon her resplendent form. Khangam chakrakadeshu chapaparighān शूलं भुशुण्डिं शिरः शङ्कं सन्धदतीं करैस्त्रिनयनां सर्वाङ्गभूषावृतां नीलाश्मद्युतिमास्य पाददशकां सेवे महाकालिकां यामस्तौ स्वपिते हरौ कलमजो हन्तुं मधुं कैटभम्. Having recited the kavacham, the shield, we proceed to recite the arghala, which is the bolt, and the third recital will be the recital of the kilakam, the pin. This will give us the ability as an invincible divine armor of Bhagavati Durga. As we apply the bolt to the armor, Meditate upon her resplendent form, and through darshan or gazing at her form, withdraw within you her energies. Feel the energies entering within your being. Become elated in her presence and feel the transformation. Om Asya Sri Argala Stotra Mantrasya Vishnu Rishihi Anushtup Chandaha Sri Mahalakshmir Devata Sri Jagadamba Pritaye Saptashati Pathangatvena Jape Viniyogaha. Om Namaschandikayai Markandeya Uvacha. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Chama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Bhutarti Harini Jai Sarvagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Madhukaitava Vidrave Vidhatri Varade Namaha. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Grant to me elegance, grant to me victory, grant to me glory, and may our enemies be destroyed. Mahishasura Nirnashe Bhaktanam Sukade Namaha. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Rakta Bijavade Devi Chanda Munda Vinashini. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Shumbhasya Nishumbhasya Dhumrakshasya Mardini. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Banditangriyoge Devi Sarva Saubhagyadayini. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Achintya Rupa Charite Sarva Shatru Vinashini. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Natebhya Sarvada Bhaktya Chandike Duritapahe. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Stuvadbhuyo Bhakti Purvam Tvam Chandike Vyadinashini. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Chandike Satatam Ye Tvam Archayantiha Bhaktitaha. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Dehi Saubhagyam Arogyam Dehi Me Paramam Sukham. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Videhi Dvishatam Nasham Videhi Balamuchakaihi. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Videhi Devi Kalyanam Videhi Paramam Striyam. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Surasuro Shiroratna Nigdhrishte Charanembike. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. Vidyavantam Yashasvantam Lakshmivantam Janam Kuru. Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Dvisho Jahi. प्रचंड दैत्य दर्पगणे चंडिके प्रणताय मे रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि द्विषो जहि चतुर्भुजे चतुर्वत्र संस्तुते परमेश्वरी रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि द्विषो जहि कृष्णेन संस्तुते देवी शश्वद्भक्त्या सदाम्बिके रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि द्विषो जहि हिमाचल सुतानाथ संस्तुते परमेश्वरी रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि द्विषो जहि इंद्राणी पति सद्भाव पूजिते परमेश्वरी रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि द्विषो जहि देवी प्रचंड दोर्दंत दर्प विनाशिनी रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि द्विषो जहि देवी भक्त जनोदाम दत्तानंदोदयेम्बिके रूपम देहि जयम देहि यशो देहि द्विषो जहि पत्नी मनोरमां देहि मनोवृत्तानुसारिणी तारिणीं दुर्ग संसार सागरस्य कुलोद्भवाम् इदं स्तोत्रं पठित्वा तु महास्तोत्रं पठेन्नरः स तु सप्तशती संख्या वरमाप्नोति संपदाम् ओम। Let us, through Kirtan, fill our hearts for the love of the divine. We join in glorifying Sri Ram. During the course of the Navratri, Sri Ram demonstrates to us as he performed this devotion to Bhagavati in order that Ravana be destroyed. Bhagavati is described as Vishnu Maya, the energy of Bhagavan Vishnu which projects and sustains this cosmos. Vishnu Maya iti shabdita. To that personality, Namastasyai again and again and again. Namastasyai, 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 Namo Nama. Maya projects multiplicity and creates multi-universes. Maya creates division. The Sanskrit word for Maya means the great measurer. Ma means not. Ya also means this. This, what we observe with our five senses and their faculties, cannot be measured, cannot be fathomed, cannot be identified, cannot be truly understood. It is Maya. It is the magical power in creation by which limitations and divisions are apparently present in the immeasurable and inseparable. Maya is nature herself, the phenomenal worlds ever in transitional flux. From a spiritual view, Maya is the veiling and obscuring twin power of Bhagavati, which creates the illusion. A person is said to be under illusion when he declares something to be other than what it really is. For example, we observe a piece of rope during the evening twilight. The rope is mistaken to be a snake. We observe at midday upon the road there is a mirage. It seems to be water, but it is not. We look up into the skies and we see a blue sky, but blue is only the depth of our vision. It is not blue. In the same way, our five senses and their faculties, whatever it perceives, it is our perception of this phenomenal world, a projection of Mahamaya, a projection of the Mother. Here, the function of Maya helps man to attain superior worldly knowledge. But at the same time, this knowledge can also deceive us by creating a false notion of who we are. For we may identify ourselves with the body apparatus when in reality we are not. Under Devi's Maya, we have also forgotten our true nature. Maya induces us to live like silkworms. The worm can cut through the cocoons if they want, but having woven the cocoons themselves, they are too much attached to the cocoon to leave them, and they die within that cocoon. We create our own cocoons of the relative world, thinking that this cocoon is mine and this body apparatus belongs to me, and this is the reality. But it is the veiling power of Maya. Maya creates a sense of differentiation. It conceals the higher reality. And as it does, Maya strengthens our attachment to the material world and hampers our will to know who we really are. Maya is that which darkens our consciousness and tends to limit it within the boundaries of our personal ego. It is the avidya, the limitation of consciousness that created the hard separatedness of ego, and thus becomes the source of our pride, our greed. We become infatuated. Here, we must ask, is Maya a good thing then? If this is the effects of Maya, then by an example, you will appreciate the concept of Maya. We look at the world through the lens of the eyes. We may observe a vehicle which is heavily tinted. Those who are sitting within the vehicle can see everything outside of the vehicle. But those who are standing outside of the vehicle cannot see those sitting within the vehicle. In the same way, Bhagavan, that Shakti as Bhagavati, is sitting within, and we are viewing the world through the tinted lens of the windows of our eyes. But those who are sitting and looking at this body mechanism, the vehicle, cannot see the indweller sitting and seated within. You cannot see the indweller seated and sitting within, but the indweller within is the observer through the lens of this eye that beholds everything of the mundane universe. Therefore, Maya is the obscuring veil that is necessary. Else, if we take birth in this world and there is no Maya, and the advent of the avatar takes place by direct contact with the avatar, what happens? Immediately our moksham will be achieved, and that will not be in accordance to the law of your own karma. Therefore, Maya is the veiling element that obscures the individual from identifying the indweller, and through Bhagavati's grace as Mahamaya, we can transcend this illusion. The glory of light cannot be appreciated without darkness, and happiness cannot be understood without misery. The knowledge of good is possible because of the knowledge of evil. Maya may be likened to the skin of a mango. The mango grows and ripens because of the presence of its covering, its skin. You throw away the skin when the mango is fully ripe and ready to be eaten. In the same way, it is possible for man to attain gradually to the knowledge of Brahman because of the presence of the covering skin of Maya. When we become mature, fully ripened on the path of spiritual development, we will be able to separate the sweetness of the fruit, the sweetness of the ambrosia of life, the nectar of life. And upon attainment of this nectar of self-knowledge, the person transcends Maya, sees Bhagavati everywhere as the indweller, and ceases to see the differences created by the body-mind-ego complex. The world does not disappear for them, but presents itself as the glory of Bhagavati, a divine play of her Leela. Worldly people are interested in the names and forms of the gold ornaments, but a self-realized person looks upon them only as gold, not as ornaments. Sages and seers remind us that because of Maya, our aims, our objectives and interests keep changing from early childhood to old age. For a baby, the mother is reality. Everything else is Maya. For a child, toys are the reality. Everything else, including the mother, becomes Maya. For a young person, new interests in the form of work, wealth, family becomes the reality. Everything else remains as Maya. The world is filled with energetic patterns. energy, constantly vibrating in a never-ending give and take. Astrophysicists have all determined this fundamental law. Each of us is a part of this perpetual motion, feeding our consciousness and energy into the mix. This is brought to us through a story, and we may refer to it as the Madhu Kaitab mix. The universe and the people around us will respond according to the kind of life source projection we send out. Some of the patterns which determine the results we attract are the workings of the universal law. One of the most basic natural laws is concerned with how things come into being. We are desirous of building a home. First, we conceptualize in our minds the type of home we are interested in building. For something to exist, it must exist in thought and consciousness first. This will be seen in the Madhu Kaitabha episode. When it comes to your own individual experience, it means that your own consciousness creates your own personal reality. The information in your thoughts and beliefs that you generate about yourself and your life will move out in time and space and create more of the same. We conceptualize a home. We will purchase the land, and then we accumulate the building materials. Then the contractor is hired, and from a thought process, a building is erected. Through katha, kirtan, satsangam and mantra japam, we are continuously in the process of altering and improving ourselves and our lives. The story of Madhu Kaitab will bring clarity to this understanding. This is why understanding our reactive pattern is so important. If you believe that you are a failure, your reality will take that shape. And if you are very conscious of what you lack, then lack will only expand in your experience. Such belief patterns can and must be decoded so that a new, healthy, and optimistic consciousness can be formed. This coding, this optimistic and self-honoring network of beliefs will provide to be a powerful tool in successful consciousness adaptation. This is what and how we truly benefit through katha, through mantra japam, through kirtan, through bhajan, through worship, through celebration. It brings about a transformational effect of heart, of body and mind. Here, the purpose of reading the Chandi part, the 700 verses during the Navratri, which is called scriptural reading, is about energy and emotional vibration. It reveals that, like our consciousness, our life force energy is projected out into the universe. But where our consciousness actually forms our reality, our personal resonance attracts people and situations based on how their vibration matches our own. This is amply demonstrated by the meeting of King Surat and the merchant Samadhi, which forms the central theme of the Chandi part. This life force energy is filled with patterns of emotional reaction. It is your predominant emotional energy that will be matched by the universe, bringing more of the same types of feelings back to you. Negative emotions can also be decoded. Saptashati, the 100 verses, Durga Kavacham, the shield, the Arghala, the bolt, and the Kilakam, the pin. When recited, these are the decoding elements which, when applied, we can once more reprogram our core, our being, our thoughts, our emotions, our sentiments. Once this is achieved, then everything that is auspicious starts flowing naturally into our lives. This is seen through the 700 verses of the Chandi. Anytime you shift out of negative emotion into a happy or peaceful vibration, it changes the resonance you broadcast to the world. Through the celebration of the feminine divine and Devi worship that you tune into, it will fill your life with increasing harmony and goodwill. This is the benefit we receive in this celebration. The clearer and less conflicted your desires are, the greater the likelihood of them coming through. However, if your intentions are filled with desperation, like the Asuras of the Chandi, that toxic consciousness and agitated energy will actually push your spiritual progress away. Like Madhu and Kaita, like Shumbh and Nishumbha, like Chand and Mund, like Mahishasura. It comes down to consciousness creation and positive vibration. What is your consciousness level? How do we resonate with others of similar mindset? Desperation is based on an awareness of fear and lack. Madhu and Kaitab mix. And the misery it causes perpetuates unhappy emotions and abrasive and resistant vibration. These examples are described as Dev Asura Sangram, the struggle between the higher consciousness and the instinctive mind. For the purpose of a sustainable philosophy, the storyline is a necessity. And as we are listening to Madhu Kaitab, Badh, the battle, the storyline remains with us, and then the philosophy follows. But if it is hardcore philosophy without a storyline, then very easily within time, that philosophy also dissipates. Thus, the necessity for appreciating the stories as is given to us in the Chandi. Desperation is itself a reaction pattern, and it will always make you feel fearful and powerless. This is the Madhu Kaitava mix. Through a peaceful presence like Brahmadeva, self-trust and determination like Sri Vishnu, your focus will be clear and unconflicted. Your intention to create and code real happiness in your present life will not only make that a reality, but also create an irresistible vibration that brings even greater joy. But this can only be achieved as we connect to the feminine divine, Ma Chandika. Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundayai Biche. Om Gram Hum Klim Jum Saha Jwalai Jwalai Jwala Jwala Prajwala Prajwal Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundayai Biche Jwala Ham Sam Lam Kham Phat Swaha. These are seed syllable mantras that are potent with vibrational resonance, and they are capable of transforming our beings, our resonation, our vibration, and capable of expanding our thoughts and our awareness. Boli Sri Adi Shakti Jagadambika Mata Ki Jai. He ruled over the entire earth. Tasya palayataha samyak prajaputra nivaurasan. He looked after his subjects like his children. Still, what happened? Although Surat was a formidable ruler, the opposing enemies called Kola Vidwans were less in number, but they were able to destroy his power, his prowess. Thereafter, Raja Surat returns to his kingdom. He rules over his country, but the powerful enemies invaded the blessed king Surat, making him powerless. The strong and the treacherous ministers, his ministers, usurped his treasure, and also they corrupted his own army, the armed force. Thereafter, Raja Surat fled from that kingdom to seek asylum. Tasyau kinchit sa kalam cha munina tena satkrita. Receiving in the forest the hospitality of a sage Rishi Medha, his mind led astray by a sense of attachment to his home, his kingdom. He began worrying. The city which was once nurtured by my ancestors is now without me. Is it now being looked after by my unscrupulous ministers? Those who were pampered by me with food and fortune and followed me, they must certainly be serving the other rulers. The treasure which I earned with great pain would now be in the hands of the indiscreet spendthrifts, and being recklessly spent and squandered by them, would by now be empty. The king constantly brooded over these and other matters. Does it remind you of any aspect of your own life? There, in the vicinity of the hermitage, he saw a Vaishya, a merchant by the name of Samadhi. He asked, "Who are you? And what is the purpose of your arrival here?" Why, as if struck by grief, you appear to be despondent. Hearing these words spoken by the king out of concern, the merchant Samadhi bowed and humbly replied, "Vaishya uvacha samadhinam vaishyo aham utpanno dhaninam kule." He said, "My name is Samadhi. I am a merchant, a trader, born in an affluent family. Prabritam swajananam cha dharanam chatra samstitaha. But my wicked wives and sons, lusting for my wealth, have banished me. Deprived of wealth by my wives and sons who have usurped it all, I have come to this forest, anguished and forsaken by my own kith and kin. I am not aware of their well-being or otherwise. I do not know their future intentions, whether as of now they are safe at home or not, whether my sons are observing righteous conduct or they have become vile. This is a father. This is the merchant. This is Vaishya, the trade man, the ordinary person working and toiling hard in this world, is represented by the merchant. The king, Raja Surat, the one who having excelled in life. These are the two categories that are being looked into. Rajo uvacha teshu kim bhavatah sneham anubadhanate manasam. Rajovach, the king says, why does your mind nurture the ties of affection for those greedy wives and sons who have banished you for money? Vaishya uvacha, the merchant replies, evam etadyatha praha bhavan asmat gatam bachaha. He replies, Samadhi, the merchant, what you speak of me is quite true. Kim karomi nabadhnati mama nishturatam mama. What shall I do, O noble one? My heart refuses to be ruthless. It still yearns for love of those who, for their lust for money, have forsaken the love of a father, the love of a husband, the love of the nearest kin. Why is it I know and yet don't know why my heart should be so full of love for those worthless relatives and be so afflicted with sorrow? I cannot understand my emotions. Karomi kim, karomi kim. Why this affection? Karomi kim, what must I do since my heart does not assume ruthlessness for those unloving persons. Karomi kim? Markandeya uvacha. Rishi Markandeya continues to describe this episode, so he relates. Both the trader, Samadhi, and the noble king Surat presented themselves before sage Medha. The trader and the king, they both sat. Rajo Uvacha. O Reverend Medha, I want to ask a question. Please. Dukhaya yanme manasaha swachitta yatatam bina. Since my mind is not under my control, I suffer from agony. Although I have lost my kingdom as well as all its limbs, I yet cannot overcome attachment to the kingdom, neither to the family. O noble sage, O Rishi Medha, what is it that despite knowing that the kingdom is no longer mine, I suffer like an ignorant fool? The trader, who is here with me, he too has been forsaken by his sons, by his wives, by his servitors. Swajanena chasatyakasteshu harditatapyate. Although forsaken by his kith and kin, he nurtures great attachment for them. But both of us are in great anguish. This is the story of the world, of the hard-working individual who strives to uplift himself or herself, and finally the Asuric and Danava tendency, the lower nature of kith and kin, takes over. Love is lost, yet still some cannot understand. We see the evil inherent in it, yet due to attachment, our minds are distracted. Why is it then, O Medha, that even the intelligent ones get deluded? Although I know I cannot help myself, although I understand, yet still the emotions are taking me away like a storm. My sense of discrimination, as well as his, the merchant, and the Raja, the king, have been blinded by our weakness, our feebleness, and our incapabilities. It is your story. It is humanity's story. Therefore, let us glorify Radha Ko Naam Anamol, the Anamol Naam, the priceless name of Bhagavati as Radharani. Medha, the sage, says, this capacity of understanding is identical in both humans and animals. Look at those birds, Medha, the Rishi says, despite of having understanding, are out of attachment putting the grains of food into the beaks of their young ones, although they are themselves troubled by hunger. O brave king, don't you see that men, despite their faculty of understanding, expect out of reciprocation from their children that I am serving you now, when I become aged, you will reciprocate and take care of me? This is due to the impact of Mahamaya, who is the cause of the sustenance of this world. One needs not be surprised. This Mahamaya of Bhagavan Vishnu, the rule of the world, it is described in his Yoga Nidra, his divine sleep, Bhagavan Vishnu's divine sleep. By it, Yoga Nidra, his sleep, the world is deluded. That sovereign Bhagavati forcefully draws away the consciousness even of the men of knowledge. By her is created this entire universe of the animate and inanimate. On being pleased, she grants the boon of final moksham, liberation. She is supreme knowledge, the cause of moksham, the eternal. She is also the cause of worldly bondage. Bhagavan Kahisa Devi Mahamayeti Ya Bhavan. Rajovacha. The king said, Surat, O revered Rishi Medha, who is that goddess you speak of as Mahamaya? How was she born? What are her actions? I want to hear all about her. What is her essential strength? What is her true nature? What is her origin? You are the best amongst those who are proficient in Vedam. Tell me, Rishi Ruvach. The Rishi replies, Nityaiva sa Jaganmurtis tasya sarvam idam tatam. Medha replied, she, Bhagavati, she is eternal, Nitya. This world is her form. It is a projection of her energies. So it is also her form. And all this which we see is pervaded by her. Nidra, Bhagavatim, Vishnur, Atulam, Tejasa Prabhu. Even so, in multifarious ways, she appears to be born. When, for accomplishing the objectives of the Devas, she manifests herself. She is said to be born in the world, although she is eternal. When the whole world had become at one time in its many cycles of creation and dissolution, at one time when the universe became a single ocean, there Bhagavan Vishnu, master of the universe, had retired to his divine sleep on the bed Sheshanag, the great serpent of 1,000 hoods. Then two demons known as Madhu and Kaitabha appeared from the heirs of Lord Vishnu, ready to destroy Brahma, the Lord of progeny. The navel of Bhagavan Vishnu emerges the lotus stalk. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham. The embryo is sustained by the umbilical cord of the mother, which is connected to the navel of the child. In the same way, the sustaining principle of the universe described as Lord Vishnu, is depicted as having that lotus stalk emanating from his navel, and he's sustaining the cosmos and the multi-universe through that connection. What a beautiful description given here. Brahma commenced with full concentration, seeing that the fierce demons were approaching. They were approaching to kill Brahma. Brahma, seeing this, began to shake the sacred stalk in an effort that Bhagavan Vishnu will become awakened from his yoga nidra, his divine sleep. After having completed creation, he takes sleep. The cosmic divine sleep, the upholder, the sustainer, and the destroyer of the universe, the supreme sovereign of incomparable refulgence, in order to awake Hari, Lord Vishnu, in whose eyes Bhagavati made her dwelling. So he is in deep slumber. Brahma uvacha. Brahma prayed. Tvam swaha, tvam swadha, tvam hi vashatkaraha, swaratmika, sudha tvam akshare nitye. Tridha matratmika stita, ardha matra stita nitya, yanucharya visheshata, tvameva sandhya savitri, tvam devi janani para, tvayaitat dharyate vishwam, tvayaitat srijyate jagat, tvayaitat palyate devi, tvamasyante cha sarvada. Vasishthav srishti rupa tvam stiti rupa cha palane tatha samhriti rupante jagatosya jaganmaye mahavidya mahamaya mahamedha mahasmriti. You are Swaha, the energy of fire. You are Swadha, the willpower. You are Vashatkara, the symbol of oblation. O Bhagavati, you are the life-giving ambrosia. You are Omkara. You are Sandhya. You are the transition between the two yugas of creation, dissolution, rest, and again recreation. You are Savitri, the ray of light. You are Bhagavati, the supreme. This universe is upheld by you. O Bhagavati, protect us. This world is created by you. O Devi, by you this world is nurtured, and by you it is brought to dissolution. You are the form of this creation when it is in the process of being created, and you are the form of sustenance when it is sustained, and you are the pervasive power of the universe called Jagan Mayi. This world is composed of you. You are the form. You are the energy. You are the projection. And you are the force that causes it to live. You are Mahavidya, the great knowledge. Mahamaya, the great Maya. Mahamedha, the great measurement. Intelligence. Mahasmriti, the great memory. Mahamoha cha bhavati, Mahadevi, Maheshwari, Prakritistvam cha sarvasya, Gunatraya vibhavini. You are Mahamoha, the great delusion. Mahadevi, the great Devi. You are Maheshwari, the supreme consciousness. Oh, you are Prakriti, the source of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, which You cause to be perceived in all things and beings. Kalaratrir Maharatir Moharatrischa Daruna Tvam Sristvam Sristvam Buddhir Bodha Lakshana. You are Kalaratri, the night of death. Maharatri, the night of the great delusion. Moharatri, the night of delusion. You are Sri, the great fortune. You are Ishwari, the great empress. You are Hri, modesty. Bodha Lakshana, Buddhi, you are the ultimate wisdom. Lajja, Pushti, Tatha Tushti, Stvam, Shanti, Khanti Revacha. Khangini, Shulini, Ghora, Gadani, Chakrini, Tatha. You are Lajja, bashfulness. Pushti, strength. Tushti, satisfaction. Shanti, peace. Khanti, forgiveness. You are Khangini, wield of the sword. Shulini, wield of the pike. Ghora, the formidable one. Gadini, the wield of the mace. And Chakrini, the wield of the discus. Shankini, Chapini, Banav, Bhushundi, Parighayudha, Somya, Somyatara, Shesha, Somyebhyas, Tvati Sundari. You are Shankini, carrying the shank, and Chapini, the bow, and the wheel of barn, the arrow, Bhushundi, the missile, Parigha, the bow, and you are the charming Somya, Somyatara Shesha, Somyebhyas Tvati Sundari. You are the beautiful one, and you are the most beautiful. Paranam Paramam Tvameva Parameshwari. Yaccha kinchit kvachidastu sadat sadvakhilatmake tasya sarvasya ya shakti saktvam kim stuyase tada yaya tvaya jagat srishtha jagat patyati yo jagat sopi nidra vasham nita kastvam sotu maheshwara Vishnu Sharira Grahanam Ahameshan Evacha Karitaste Yato Tastvam Kahastotum Shaktiman Bhavet Satvamitham Prabhavaihi Swerudarer Devi Samstuta. Here, Lord Brahma offers this suppliant cry for Bhagavati to become awakened from the body and the eyes of Bhagavan Vishnu. Here, Evam Stuta Tada Devi Tamasi Tatra Vedhasa. Here, sage Medha says, in order to awaken Bhagavan Vishnu for slaying, for protecting Brahma from being slain by Madhu and Kaitab, Brahma prayed. He prayed that prayer to Tamasi Devi, the deity of Bhagavati, as the mother of darkness. She then took her exit from the eyes of Vishnu, the mouth of Vishnu, the nostrils of Bhagavan Vishnu, the arms, the heart, the chest, and stood before Brahma. Unmanifest origin, freed from her. Vishnu, the ruler of the world and the protector of his devotees, awoke. As he awoke out of slumber, अपने वाणी में अमृत घोल ओ रसना राधे राधे बोल. Here, I, Brahma, and Shiva, who have been embodied by you, is powerful enough to eulogize you. O Devi, you are lauded by your own generous power. using them now, Bhagavati, destroy these asuras, Madhu and Kaitab. May they be destroyed. Here, having emanated from the body of Bhagavan Vishnu, having arose from the bed of the great Sheshanag on the infinite expanse of the ocean, he saw Madhu and Kaitab, the evil-natured asuras. Madhu and Kaitab's eyes, bloodshot with anger, bent upon destroying Brahma. Intoxicated, a war ensued for 5,000 years with Bhagavan Vishnu. And then, infatuated by their prowess, both Madhu and Kaitab offered Bhagavan Vishnu a boon. Ask. Bhagavan gladly responded that I may destroy you both. If you are pleased with me, then accept death at my hands. They requested him a boon. This is what I ask. Thus, tricked, when they found that the entire world consisted only of water, they requested Bhagavan, kill us only in such a place where there is no water. Tathastu. So be it. Sage Medha, Rishi Medha relates that Bhagavan Vishnu, the wielder of the conch, discus and mace, placing the heads of Madhu and Kaitab upon his lap where it is dry, he chopped off their heads with his discus. Evamesha samutpanna brahmana sansuta swayam prabhavamasya devasya prabhavamasya devyastu bhuyah shrunu vadamite aim om. This is how, when Brahma had enthusiastically praised Bhagavati, she manifested herself and she destroyed Madhu and Kaitava. Iti Sri Markandeya Purane Savarnike Manvantare Devi Mahatmye Madhu Kaitava Badho Nama Pratamo Adhyaya. This is the episode of Madhu Kaitab, their destruction, which ends the first chapter of the Durga Saptashati. The last sense that leaves us is our sense of hearing. And the first sense of cognition when we enter this world is the sense of hearing. Madhu and Kaitab appears from the heirs of Bhagavan Vishnu. Coming out of the air wax of Vishnu means the residual karmas of our past birth rolling over into our present birth, creating the Maic framework of the pairs of opposite that we must transcend to attain Daiva Sampat or divine qualities. Madhu means honey and stands for attachment, raga, attachment to mundane or worldly things that are temporary. It seems to be sweet but bitter in its consequences. Kaitaba means a pricking thorn and signifies our aversion, dvesha, to things we deem as unpleasant. Both of these traits, which do much to make up our overall nature of temperament, it's called prakriti or swabhava, is a residue carried over from numerous previous births. Both are products of Maya and need to be brought under control. But like Madhu and Kaitab, when they were born, they suffered loss of memory. When we are born, Shatabayu attacks our memory and we immediately forget everything of our past lives. So, becoming forgetful beings, not knowing who we are, where we came from, and what is our final goal, we behave like Madhu and Kaitab, destructive elements even to our Creator and the creation. Here, Madhu is honey praised, while Kaitab is sour criticism, both of which enter through our ears, but are two sides of the same Mayic coin and need to be discarded. This can be achieved when we can live a balanced and well-regulated life, as was demonstrated by Lord Brahma, the patron of intelligence, appealing to Bhagavati. These two demons attack our intelligence, symbolized by Brahma, the Lord of intelligence. The Devi, as restful sleep, is an apt metaphor signifying her motherhood. When a mother sees her small child tired after playing in the fierce sun, she catches hold of her child, feeds him, pats him to sleep, even against his own wishes, knowing very well that the sleep will restore his energy. Indeed, while our whole day is spent in emptying our Shakti, the compassionate Devi takes it on herself to continue replenishing it. So she continues to replenish the energy of Brahma, of Vishnu, and of Shiva. She puts Bhagavan Vishnu to rest, tired after the exhausting task of maintaining the universe. And when the next creative cycle begins, she relieves him of his sleep, Yoga Nidra. We cannot win over the demons of attachment and aversion, the demons of praise and criticism, relying solely on our powers, like Lord Vishnu, who was unable to defeat both for many years after fierce battle. The only way to win over Maya is to surrender ourselves to Mahamaya, Bhagavati. And this is what Brahma did, the Lord of intelligence. When we believe that we are all knowledgeable, when we believe that there is nothing more to know, this is aptly demonstrated as Brahmadeva offers his prayer to Bhagavati. The fact that the two demons asked to be killed in a dry spot is also loaded with spiritual meaning. Both these pairs of traits can only be destroyed. Raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, praise and criticism, can only be destroyed on the ground of vairagyam or detachment, which is the dry state of existence, devoid of all worldly rasa. To become like pure cotton wool. Like cotton, it is void of smell, void of taste, void of form even, and when we can also transcend whilst within this body apparatus, the uncontrolled attachment and our uncontrolled ability towards form, towards taste, towards sound, and towards scent. These are the 5 interactive senses. We will become as pure as cotton. We must not allow the world of form to steal our peace through the untamed senses of sight, smell, touch, hearing, and taste. Rise beyond being instinctive beings and regain your divine status. This is what is presented to us in Madhu Kaitaba Charita, the first chapter of the Durga Saptashati, the spiritual reading called Partha. How then should we honor Ma Durga during her festival season? Certainly in a way that we are inspired to. But we should also participate in the great traditional celebrations found wherever Hindus live, which carry the momentum of generations of worship, and many millions of worshippers today continue to celebrate Durga Puja throughout the world. The purpose of our Hindu celebrations is not simply to provide happy occasions for us personally or for our community. Though these are part of them, it is to show that human life reaches its summit in the celebration of the divine, of which the mother is the most endearing form. Such spiritual celebrations take us beyond our limited human needs and link us to the universe as a whole in the unlimited fabric of cosmic life that is an expression of overflowing Ananda. It is her world, her manifestation. We are here on earth not merely to survive as instinctive beings or Danava or Asura, but human beings having divine potentials. To gain prominence over others? No, we are here to link the physical life beyond time and death with the immortal life that is eternal. Bhagavati, Ma Bhagavati has the power, has the wisdom and the dynamism and grace to enable us to achieve this ultimate transformation. If we awaken her presence within during this celebration, Navratri provides the occasion for this achievement. Therefore, as we celebrate and we are enthused through this celebration, let us continue to lift our hearts. Let us continue to lift our minds. Let us continue to expand our awareness as we celebrate the feminine divine Bhagavati. Bole Sri Adi Shakti Jagadambika Mata ki jai, Umapati Mahadeva ki jai, Pavan Sut Hanuman ki jai, Sab Santan ki jai, Sab Bhaktan ki jai, Jai Jai Sita Ram, Jai Jai Radhe Shyam, Namah Parvati Pataye, Har हर महादेव शंभो।